That was one of brutally things that was insane in this. He still went ahead to buy a lot of flower bouquet and all of that for a wedding. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Kwapnachu Mama YouTube channel. This is Kwapnachu Mama the YouTuber. So if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should subscribe. You should give us a subscribe and continue to switch on the notification button as time goes on. You get a whole lot of movies from here, a whole lot of breakdown from here. So as the movie starts, season 3, episode 1, episode 3, there will be Jules. Jules will be having a good time in his art school or art gallery or art everywhere that he's been doing. So, you start with Jules painting, having a painting of herself or something like that. So this way
Throughout the history of America, there have been windows of time where anyone could strike it rich.
he stayed after high school because, after all this high school thing, he decided to move into art gallery or art school. After high school, he decided to move into college to study art.
You get paid. How much?
So, and it's now a sugar baby because he has sugar that is catering for her and all that. So, it all started with his roommate that introduced her to his first sugar daddy. So, his sugar daddy initially was a lawyer, and the next one, a plastic surgeon who initially made a joke that they create what God didn't create, or they made what God didn't make. So afterwards, there will be some cinematic scene in there where Juice will be wrapped in a plastic thing and left with only the nose and the mouth to breathe, and the guy will come and kiss her, or they like kiss her for that period. That's one of the scenes that got most attention in the scene in the movie, you know. So afterwards, there will be this lady who in the first episode broke her neck, but they still want to go to the like go and make money with the same neck, but you couldn't because you can't do the neck thing. You can't go on a strip club and be whining on a pole with your neck broken. But yet still decided to go and do that because that's what he decided to do. But and he was whining for one of these gentlemen, but this gentleman was not even ready to come and look for 2x or something like that. He wanted to buy a gun from Almo, and now this is the new job that um, real Zendaya is doing because it's more or less like selling a gun for Almo, and this is his new job, as they say, one job leads to another. And he was having a chit chat about how he wants to get a whole lot of money and a whole lot of that to go legit. And Almo got pissed that what is legit or she thinks what they are doing is not legit or what. And having this chit chat, there was there came there came a pig, a pig on the club, and the club is more or less like a place for strippers and serenity. But how come the pig was there? But in this instance, Almo was pissed and Almo shot at the pig. And after the pig was shot, some of the blood spilled on one of the ladies. So afterwards, in this conversation, Real told Almo that Rusi, like the woman who made her sell drugs, has a parrot that he really loves, the parrot that's called Paladin. Initially they already sent a pig to their place to disturb them, but this is more or less like they are coming back or revenge. So he decided to go after Paladin. As they said, this is a perfect time we pay Paladin a visit. Now let's come to the wedding, that the Jacobs and Cassie's wedding. The Jacobs and
To get him
Cassie's
between
wedding
you and
was all
Cassie
right,
will make a little.
except afterwards, after the wedding, when the wedding was going on, when the bride was being, or Cassie,
Smiling people. They're so
was when the
joyous.
Jacobs was, uh, his mother-in-law was handling her wife to her, there was some conversation that was going on that when he was marrying, that was the only joy they had, and afterwards the husband came and blah blah blah. That's family ties. The same thing happened to Kanye Jacobs, because after he got married, everything got worse. This guy he was owing that came to the wedding ceremony to warn her, to warn him and her
Hey
wife
man, let me
that
go
all
talk
of
to
that
my private
things
feelings. I'll
came
talk
back
to you.
later in their honeymoon to beat her roughly up and cut his toes. And that was one of brutally things that was insane in this movie. One thing is that he owes this guy a huge amount of money, but he still went ahead to buy a lot of flower bouquet and all of that for a wedding that will cost most of the. But when Will was at the wedding, Almo Almo Brown decided to call her to do a pickup for her. That's where he went to it, Bishop, and Bishop decided to poison or give a certain drug to the parrot Paraline that he would die. And when he was giving, when they went inside there was a whole lot of dramatic scenes, that
Staying alive in
happened.
the basement?
And
Yeah,
he
except for
said
Layton.
if they didn't take care, they will not be doing business with them again and all of that. But Cassie also went mad
Sure, you can.
when
Come on, sit down.
uh, the uh, Jacob he found out that Jacob was owing and all that, so he threw the champagne into his head. But if it was the old Jacob, something would have happened. But this is the new one. Something bad was also something good of happened to them. But this wedding will obviously end in shambles because after this guy has been beaten brutally, he will blame all of that on his wife, and